Everyone from India. This is Dr. Siddheshwar Chopra. Uh, I'm from the state of Uttar Pradesh, India, and I'll be talking to you about the basics of HeaWea, and that is basically the portable Rife machine, portable powerful machine healing device, which is from the Spooky 2 family. It's one of the product line. So I welcome you all in this webinar, and I hope I can make the technicalities of the HeaWea machine very simple to you and make things clear, so that many of you, maybe you will be planning to purchase one device for your family, for yourself. So it will be easier for you all to make a choice whether this is the right thing for you or not. Okay. So I welcome you all once again, and let me start a little bit about myself. So basically, I have done Ph.D. in experimental physics from BITS Pilani, which is one of the premier institutes in India. And prior to that, I had done graduation and post-graduation from Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Andhra Pradesh, and Bangalore campuses. So after my PhD, I have approximately 10 years of teaching experience at university level. I have taught physics there. And from the research point of view, I have 25 research papers published in computational nanoscience. All of them are in reputed international journals. And apart from my academic credentials, I have a deep interest in energy healing. And that is how I came to know about Rife technology and then Spooky 2. And I have been working with the Spooky 2 and the other product lines of Spooky 2 since maybe 7 to 8 years now. And I am their first certified trainer from India also. So I'm really thankful to the entire Spooky 2 team for thinking that I'm capable of handling these webinars and their Facebook groups also. So in energy healing, I have done theta healing course. I have done Reiki Grandmastership. I am an access consciousness facilitator, now healing facilitator, Pyra Vastu consultant. I have iridology diploma and master diploma in alternative medicines. And primarily, I work with the Rife frequencies, pyramids, magnets, orgonites, tensor technology, and Keshe technology. So I'm into many things at the same time. Whenever I get time, I pick up one of the technologies. So I love to learn and share my knowledge with you all. And let us go to the content of the presentation today. So what all we are going to learn? First of all, a brief introduction about HeaWea MicroGen. It's basically the HeaWea microcurrent generator. That is why we call it MicroGen. Then we will quickly get into the features of HeaWea, details about low power and high power modes, hardware specifications and operation. And these are few things I've found people are a bit confused. It's called the firmware update. And next point is when to reset your MicroGen. Is it needed at all? Then installation of the software. Some quick details about the software operation. How do we operate the software basically? And then details of different modes of operation. What all modes are there and what does every mode do, and for how much duration you can run that mode. So all that we'll be discussing in that particular point. Then how do you create or delete your custom programs? And finally, how to check if MicroGen is working or not. So these are the things I'll be discussing in today's webinar. So let me start quickly without wasting your time. So basically, what is HeaWea? So HeaWea is basically the world's most advanced FDA registered portable frequency therapy device. What modes does it offer? It offers 4 modes. First one is the Bob Beck blood purifier. You all must be knowing about the Bob Beck blood purifier. It's a very popular blood purifier mode. You know, it has been incorporated in HeaWea. That makes it a very powerful device. Then we all are aware of the Hulda Clark research work and her exceptional contribution in zapping the bugs in your body. So Hulda Clark Zapper is the next powerful mode what HeaWea offers you. Third one is the microcurrent mode or the low power frequency mode. So this is the low power frequency mode. We'll discuss when we get into this particular mode. Finally, you have the high power frequency mode. Now, high power frequency mode is the one which you can call it as the Rife mode, which is a very powerful frequency therapy mode. So, yeah, so basically details of HeaWea. Just 1 minute. It's what are the characteristics, what are the features of HeaWea? Basically, HeaWea is small and portable. It fits inside your pocket and it doesn't require any external power once charged. Okay. It has inbuilt rechargeable battery of 1200 mAh. It's a LiPo battery and it's a very powerful battery. I've been using for nearly an year now, and you can charge from any USB port. So having said that, you can use, you know, your phone charger and connect the charging cable. That's a type C connector you have in HeaWea. So you can connect it and directly charge the device. It is very simple to program and run. And it has massive database of approximately 50,000 programs inbuilt, you know, that is offered free. Maybe it has been updated, you know, maybe it has become more now, more than 50,000. So another thing beauty of HeaWea is it's just one button operation. Why do I say that one button operation? You long press the MicroGen, it turns on and off with the same button. You short press the same button and then you can select the intensity level of your HeaWea. So how much intensity you should be getting into your body, that is what you can do with this. It has current limiting protection. So it takes care of different frequencies, you know, for different frequencies, it makes sure that you don't get that much pain sensation or, you know, current sensation in your body. It takes care of that. So it is very smart device. It is very powerful. Yes, indeed, because it does offer you 5 power levels ranging from 10 volts all up to 60 volts. It has onboard current monitoring for safety. It has a very high frequency range, right down from 1 microhertz, 1 microhertz to 2 megahertz. So this is what its frequency range is. And the resolution is up to 6 decimal places. You know, it's very difficult to find this resolution in such a portable device. You know, that is the strength of the electronics of this particular device. Now, as I told you, it offers 4 modes of operation. So we'll discuss that very shortly. So what are the system requirements? Just 1 minute. So what are the system requirements for this particular installation? What all your computer should have? First thing is you need Windows operating system. If you don't have Windows operating system, then maybe you will have to use some virtualware. You have to install Windows on that, and 32-bit or 64-bit of bit version of Windows will be just fine. Okay. Memory requirement is very less. It just needs 512 MB RAM. So pretty much it's very simple. These days we get 2 GB laptops. That is the least you can get. And the hard disk space is just 100 MB of free space required. At least 100 MB that everyone can manage. Then you need Intel dual core processor or more. Now getting into the modes of operation, we have the low power and high power modes. So let me tell what is the low power mode and high power mode. So low power mode, also termed as microcurrent, it is ideal for helping people recover from injuries and chronic pain, or you can call it as a gentle healing mode. So when I say gentle healing mode, it can be used to relax muscles, relieve pain and stiffness. Okay. This is the mode you can safely use above your shoulders. You can use above your shoulders. You can put the tense pads over your, on the forehead. You can keep here. So it is very safe to use. Next mode is the high power mode. If you want to deliver the punch to target serious health issues caused by bacteria, virus, fungus, then you can use high power mode. MicroGen ensures that you can safely apply these high power frequencies without any injury. So MicroGen takes care of the safety part. Now, what about the software for MicroGen? As I said, you can operate MicroGen from your laptop. You just need to transfer the programs into the MicroGen, and then you are good to use MicroGen. It is programmed and you can use it straight away. So what about the software? Now, software is free to download. And again, I repeat, you need Microsoft Windows. Okay. Then otherwise, if you use Mac, you will have to install Windows for Mac. What are the features of software? It is very simple to operate. Connect MicroGen to the computer, turn the generator on. Now you have to select your treatment programs and transfer the programs to MicroGen. Once the programs have been transferred to MicroGen, you can now connect the TENS cable and start using straight away. It is that simple. Fine. Okay. When you buy the MicroGen, the HeaWea MicroGen, these are the things you'll be getting in the package. So let me go briefly what all these things are. What you get is MicroGen main unit. So the HeaWea team is also giving you customized MicroGen covers. So maybe Penny can tell you that later. So you get very attractive covers these days. So I have the simple white color MicroGen. I love that. That's the symbol of purity, maybe. Yeah. So MicroGen main unit, that is what you get. Then you get a lanyard. So it is very easy. You can just hang it over your neck and take it everywhere you wish to take it. So, it's like treating yourself on the move. How does that sound? So that is why I love HeaWea. Then along with that, you get tense pads. So these are the tense pad. I think I'll discuss in details how many tense pads and what is the size of these tense pad later. You get a user manual. So it is very simple user manual, and you can follow the instructions. If you don't understand few things from the webinar today, it will be easier if you follow the user manual instead. Okay. So you will also get a USB cable. You can see here it is a Type-C connector. And this is a typical USB connector. So you can connect it to any adapter. Then you get the golden cable. Golden cable. This is for the low power mode. And then you get the silver cable, that is for the high power mode. And then you get a portable case. So these are the things you'll be getting once you purchase HeaWea. Just a 1 minute. Okay, so now we'll go to hardware and software part. That's the main part of today's webinar. So please allow me to start this. So the hardware specification of this device, it has one output channel. That's a very important point, because in the past I've seen people getting confused with this particular point. So I'm again explaining. This says HeaWea has only one output channel. It does provide you the short circuit protection. The output current is 20 milliamps. So you see, there is no point of worrying. It offers 20 milliamps at max. Then the frequency range is 1 microhertz to 2 megahertz. And resolution is 1 microhertz. As I said, it is 6 decimal place. Now the last point, this is important one. So all of you can pay attention to this last point, amplitude maximum limits. So what does this point tell you is, if you select the power number 5, that is the last highest intensity level, then you get the maximum voltage. But when you get the maximum voltage, the device maximum provides the frequency of 200 kilohertz. Okay, so there is a limitation to the upper frequency. When you go to the 40 volts, that is the power level 4, it offers frequency range between 200 kilohertz to 500 kilohertz. That is just the electronics circuitry, how they have designed this particular device. So nothing to worry about. So whatever programs, what I'm trying to tell you is, whatever programs you select, if the frequency is beyond 2 megahertz, it is going to convert it to lower harmonics and then give it to your body. So that is not our job to worry about. HeaWea takes care of that. Okay, the advanced electronics take care of that. However, when you select the lower power levels, that is the lowest intensity, this is, I think, intensity number 2, then the device is able to generate 1 megahertz to 2 megahertz. Okay, and below that, I think it should be able to generate till 2 megahertz properly. Now, about the hardware operation. MicroGen will always charge when connected to a USB port. Please keep in mind, MicroGen will always charge when connected to a USB port. It doesn't need to be turned on. The battery will charge on its own. However, if the MicroGen is turned on, the LEDs on the front of the MicroGen will flash. Okay, there will be an image here. You can see here. You can see 5 black dots here. These are basically the LEDs are turned off right now. So if the MicroGen is turned on and it is charging, then the LEDs will be blinking, you know, they will be flashing one by one. So that will be the indication that your MicroGen is charging. After 5 hours of charging, the charge indication LEDs will automatically calibrate. So that is again the software part. It takes care on its own. Now press the power button for 2 seconds until the LEDs turn on. So basically this is the power button here. This is the power button and these are the LEDs. Pretty much these two are the things, these two things you have to notice in your HeaWea. Other slots are, you know, this is the 3.5 mm audio socket, what you get in your mobile phones, right? So this is the 3.5 mm audio socket, and here you can connect your TENS pads. And next to that is the charging port. This is your Type-C connector. So you have to connect the USB cable here. Adjacent to that is the reset button. So the reset button takes care of the hard reset or the factory reset of the device. This is the last option we need to worry about. Now about the TENS cables. The golden cable is basically the microcurrent cable or the low power cable. So this is a very important thing. You have to use the right cable for the right mode. You cannot swap the cables. Fine. You cannot swap the cables. It's not suggested because of the difference in the internal connections of the cable for low power and high power modes. So you should not be swapping the cables at all. That is why I'm explaining here. Okay. Please write down if you have any doubt anywhere. So the golden cable is the low power cable or the low power mode cable, and you can use it safely above the shoulders. The silver cable is the high power cable, which is used for all the majority of the purposes. That means it is taking care of 3 modes. What are these 3 modes? Blood purifier mode, zapping mode, and the Rife mode, which is the high power frequency application. Okay. So silver cable are the ones which you will be using a lot. So now the golden and the silver cables are the ones which are the updated cables. Thanks to the HeaWea team, thanks to John, thanks to Echo for providing these new wonderful cables. What are the specifications of these cables and why these are so handy? The most important new feature of the upgraded cable is that it has the green indicator light. I hope it is visible here. Can you see my mouse pointer? You see here, you have a dot here, right? Basically, this is a glass, or I should say it's a plastic, transparent area. So whenever the power is turned on, by the power, I mean uh, the voltage is being supplied to your body. If it is treating you, then the green indicator light will blink or stay on depending on the working status. It blinks during the blood purifier mode and low power mode at low frequencies. How low? For frequencies less than 50 hertz, but stays on during the zapper mode, high power mode, and low power mode at high frequencies greater than 50 hertz. So this is just to let you know when the green indicator light is working and when it is turned off. So this is just a good indication, because earlier everyone had doubt that, if the cables are working or not, if the device is supplying current or not to the body. So it's just a good addition. Now about the TENS pads. TENS pads are self-adhesive, reusable electrodes designed to be placed on your skin. The pads are commonly used 2" by 2" or 50 mm by 50 mm in size, and accept industry standard 2 mm pin plugs. So how do we keep the TENS pads? They should be at least 5 cm apart. So that is what the user manual says even. So just one. Now details about the different modes. This is very important. Please, all of you pay attention to the few upcoming slides. The first mode, I should call it a very, very important mode. It is the blood purifier mode. It is the popularly known Bob Beck blood purifier, which provides 27 volts DC signal across a chosen blood vessel. This DC signal reverses direction 7.8 times per second, creating a 3.9 hertz biphasic AC signal. This is just a detail for some curious people, but I don't read it much. The recommended treatment time is 2 hours a day. So please get me right. You need to put TENS pad for 2 hours per day. It's a 2-hour program. Okay. And you have to do this for consecutive 21 days to 30 days at max. Write it down somewhere. This is very important. It's a 2-hour protocol per day, and suggested usage is 21 to 30 days. Okay. After 2 hours, MicroGen turns off automatically. You don't have to worry of switching it off. You don't have to worry about that. Then for this mode, as I discussed earlier, you have to use silver high power cable. And what power level? At the lowest power rating of 1, that is the lowest intensity level, which is the 10 volts. That is what is suggested for blood purifier mode. I must caution you all that some people, don't get sensation of this mode when they turn on the device. Why? Because they have not pushed the TENS pads properly into the socket. If you do that, none of the modes will be felt by you. It will be difficult. So you have to ensure that TENS pads have been connected properly. So there is a very minute click you will hear when you push the TENS pad inside the socket. So just make sure of that. Okay. So if still you feel the power number 1 in blood purifier mode is not sensitive for you, then you can increase the power levels, but it is not suggested, it's not required. One power level will be good enough. So how do you place the TENS pad in the blood purifier mode? It is, just have a look at the image here. So you can put TENS pads across your blood vessels here, either horizontally or vertically. So this is how we suggest you to put TENS pads for the blood purifier mode. The next is the Zapper mode. Before starting the Zapper mode, let me clarify here once. Even I had doubt earlier that what is the difference between blood purifier and zapping mode. Let me tell you that apart from the technical specifications of these modes, the blood purifier mode, as the name suggests, is purifying your blood. What does that mean? So it is clearing the pathogens available in your blood, infesting your blood. Okay, so that is the first thing I would suggest you to do. Take care of these pathogens which are in your blood. So by these pathogens, these are the tiny pathogens, the smaller in size pathogens, which are easily traveling in your body through blood. Is that clear? So blood purifier mode is very, very, very crucial. Another thing is zapping mode or the zapper. So basically, zapper is tackling the larger pathogens. It is tackling the larger pathogens. So let us get into the zapper mode. The voltage is less. The signal never reverses the polarity, unlike the blood purifier mode. And the frequency is higher. So I think it is approximately 2.7 kilohertz and 30 kilohertz also, but I think here in HeaWea it is 2.7 kilohertz. So that is the difference between blood purifier mode and zapper mode technically. Also here the protocol is different. Now the protocol is different in a sense that blood purifier mode has to run for a sure shot 2-hour treatment session, 2-hour duration, whereas the zapper mode runs for, please pay attention here, the zapper mode runs for 7 on, then 21 off, 7 on, 21 off, and then finally 7 on. So what do I mean? 7 plus 7 plus 7. That makes it 21 minutes of treatment time and 42 minutes. That is 21 into 2 is 42. So 42 minutes, the HeaWea is turned off automatically. You don't have to worry about that. So what HeaWea is doing is it starts the session with 7 minutes of zapping. Okay. Then it gives a break of 21 minutes. Then again it zaps for 7 minutes. Then 21 minutes break. Then finally finishing 7 minutes zapping. You may ask why so? Because if you have read about the Hulda Clark zapping, It takes care of zapping the pathogens at different levels. The first zapping takes care of zapping the larger pathogens. It tears apart their biofilm. It tears apart their protein structure. So one by one, it takes care of all the residual or the products, you want to call it, or the pathogens residing inside the pathogens. That would be wonderful. So it takes care of multi-level zapping. Having said that, the zapping is happening for an entire duration of 63 minutes. Okay. So get me straight here. 63 minutes is the entire session for zapping, and you are not throwing away your device until this zapping is done. Is that clear? Because unless you do that, you are not taking care of the entire zapping procedure. It is highly recommended. Now you may ask, Dr. Chopra, how many times should I zap? It's up to you. If you are able to handle the zapping multiple times, you can. What do I mean by that? If your body is able to handle toxins very well. Okay, so you can zap for maybe twice or thrice a day also. So for this zapping again, we use the high power cable, which is a silver color cable. And then we use the lowest power setting, that is 1 LED. Ideally, the TENS pad should be placed on opposing wrists or across the problem area. After 63 minutes, the MicroGen is automatically going to turn off. So that saves a lot of worry for all of us. How many of you are lazy? Maybe I am. So it turns off automatically. Nothing to worry about that. So what do I mean by zapping in the area you need? Say, if I know my stomach area is creating a lot of problem. Okay. Say if you're coughing, your lungs area is creating a problem. So you can keep the TENS pad across your lungs, or one pad you can keep front side and one you can keep back side. So it's up to you. Zapping is up to you where you want to zap. So that is very important point. The next point is the low power mode, which is the microcurrent mode, for which you will be using the golden cable. And what do we do? How do we find the programs for this? Is MicroGen has programs in the database specially developed for microcurrent applications. So if you want to search for low power mode programs, you have to just type FSM inside the software. Okay. So if you type FSM, you will get all these programs with asterisk mark. And these are the ones suggested for or preferred for the low power application. Then going to the high power mode again, you will be using silver TENS cable. I am again and again reminding you, silver TENS cable for high power mode. Okay. This is the mode which unleashes the full potential of HeaWea to address serious health issues, which is basically the Rife mode also. In this mode, MicroGen software cleverly applies harmonics of the chosen frequencies to prevent any discomfort at lower frequencies. Because in the normal Rife softwares, you will see that lower frequencies sting a bit, So what is the firmware update? Even I used to get confused. What is this firmware update? Why am I asked to update it? So basically, a firmware update is recommended to resolve any bug issues from the previous version. So this is also recommended when the HeaWea team tells you to do it. It's not like everybody should do it, you know. It's not required for everyone. So what does firmware update do? It usually provides enhanced functionality to the hardware or its operation. What is the operation example? It is basically that HeaWea is turning off on its own after the program is finished. So such capabilities are an example of firmware update. However, the software update is the MicroGen software update. So the software is, you know, the window I showed you in the previous screen. So the window, the software you use on the Windows operating system. So the software update is the MicroGen software update basically. It is different from firmware update. It is meant to provide enhanced software capability or interface updation. So that is what is software update. What do we mean by resetting, and when do we need to reset the MicroGen? So as I mentioned earlier in one of the slides, that there is a small hole in HeaWea wherein you can insert a pin and then press it to reset HeaWea. So by resetting, actually we mean that it brings down or resets the entire device to the factory settings. This word is very common to us. We are aware of it because of all of us have our mobiles. We do need factory reset when we get into some big troubles. Okay. It is done in case the MicroGen is not recognized by the computer or any other persistent issue. It is a last option for us. Once resetting is done, any firmware update performed earlier would be resetted too. Please note the last point. If you have performed firmware update prior to resetting your HeaWea, then the firmware update also goes off. So nothing to worry. You can again install the firmware update. Okay. Now that was all about the hardware operation. Let me get into the software operation, which is very important for all of us. We have to understand how do we operate the software. So let me quickly begin with how do we install it. So installation is pretty simple. We go to the website HeaWea.com. You can take the screenshot of this, or maybe later when the webinar also will be uploaded anyways. So we can go to the website HeaWea.com and inside that software download and then download the software from there straight away. Then once you have the software, run the installer. If you are using an old version of Windows, you may need to unzip the downloaded file first. Once you double click the executable file, you will see this window, which is the license agreement. You have to click here, the yes radio button, then click next. You can accept the default destination directory. I don't ever change it. Okay, you don't need to change the default destination directory. Just go ahead with the installation. So go next. Just a quick reminder. Just you can remember the destination directory link also. This is the location. It is installed in C drive, program files, inside that MicroGen folder. I will tell you why you need to remember this. Sometimes we forget where the installation has been done and we get into some problems sometimes. So click next button, and then the installation is complete. You get the message setup complete. And you can either select to run the program or just finish it. Now, once it is installed, we click the MicroGen icon. The MicroGen icon by default get installed when you install the software. Sometimes if it doesn't install, you can go to the installation directory. Which is the installation directory? It is C drive, program files. Inside that, there is a MicroGen folder. Get inside that folder. There will be an icon of microgen.exe. So you have to just click that software or create a shortcut if needed. Once you click the MicroGen software icon, then the databases will get loaded. It takes a few seconds and you will see this screen. This is your software of MicroGen. So you see here, this is the top menu and you see some icons here. We'll discuss this. Victoria, I'll answer your question. Please write down in the chat box. I will take up your questions at the end of the webinar. Okay. Now, you will notice that there are some asterisk symbols next to them, next to the programs here. Okay. These are some informations I'm providing you. So you see here, as I mentioned earlier, these asterisk programs are the programs from reputable sources and are more likely to return positive results. So please, whenever you see these asterisk symbols, don't get confused. This is just an indication that these are preferred programs. Okay. And you may ask, Dr. Chopra, what are these numbers beside the asterisk symbol? These numbers indicate the number of frequencies in one particular program. So, for example, you see here, our dear John White has saved a program named John Cold Programs. This program, John Cold Programs, is a custom program and it has 90 frequencies in it, 90. So it's something like, say, 1 hertz, 25 hertz, 30 hertz, and so on. So 90 frequencies. And the more the number of frequencies, the more the duration it is going to take. Is that clear? So if there are 90 frequencies to be loaded by the device one by one, it is going to take much longer as compared to a single frequency or maybe say 3 frequencies. Okay. So this number indicates the number of frequencies the program constitutes. You may ask, what is the duration of every frequency? So that is very clearly visible from the software window. Whenever you search for a program, say here in this case bronchitis 1, so it is highlighted with blue color. So you see here below is the frequency duration window. Okay, this frequency duration is showing you the value of 180 seconds. You can write it down. This is showing me the frequency duration per frequency. Okay, so whenever you load bronchitis 1 program, you are going to have 3 minutes per frequency. So if you have 3 minutes per frequency, somebody should tell me for these 4 frequencies, how much time it is going to take. It is going to take 4 into 3, that is 12 minutes. Okay. If you want to understand, you have multiple programs selected. Say I have headache also, I have bronchitis issue also. So if I have, okay, in this example, if you select multiple issues, you can select multiple issues here very easily. You can double click on this, or you can single click and press the play button here. It's not play, it is add button actually. So this particular program will be added on the right side window. So like this, you can add multiple programs of your choice. And when all these programs have been duly added by you, then it shows you here on the bottom right section of this window, total number of frequencies are 14. Okay. And then the total time of the entire program is 42 minutes. This is the entire program time for the cardiovascular diseases plus bronchitis. Please understand this. So this is the total duration which is shown to you. Okay. Also, you can manually change the duration of per frequency. So you can change it to maybe 600 seconds as seen here, 600 seconds per frequency. And when you do that update, you are going to see the total time here. It has increased now from 42 minutes to 2 hours 20 minutes. Fine. So let me go to the next slide. In the window here, window of the software, you are going to see 4 modes. So we discussed about these modes already, so I'll not get into that. Once you select the blood purifier mode, which shows you the time here straight away 120 minutes, you don't have to load any programs. Getting the point? You don't have to load any programs if you want to run blood purifier mode or you want to run zapping mode. Please understand this, because these are pre-programmed modes. You don't have to do anything. It is that simple. So once you click the button on the software for blood purifier mode or zapper mode, they are going to automatically start your machine straight away. What you need to do is place the TENS pads on your body and ensure that TENS pads are connected properly to your device. That's all. These 2 modes are very simple. The low power and high power modes need programs to be selected, then the frequencies will be transferred to your body. Again, remember, you have to connect proper cable. So for your convenience, the HeaWea team has given these dots here. You can see these dots. If the dot is white in color, which cable you should be using? I should get answer in the chat box. It's a question. If I have this white color here, which color cable will you be using? It is the silver cable. Okay. And if you use the low power mode, then this yellow dot reminds you to use. Very good. I am getting responses. Great. You people are paying attention. Love you all. Good. So The low power mode, you see here yellow dot. So you will have to use the golden cable. Please don't forget. Okay. Now let me go to the menu system. So how does the menu look like? So at the top of the screen, you see here, it's written uh, in the software window, it's written HeaWea MicroGen and the version of the software. I love to update my softwares every time, as and when you have the update. So, I once a month, I keep checking the website if there is any update available, because John White is very particular about updation of the software. And that is one of the reasons I was very highly overwhelmed with the Spooky 2 devices. I was very happy because the team is very serious about updating the softwares, the hardware part. So I suggest that, maybe once a month you can have a look at the website and see if there is any software update. So you can keep your software updated. Okay. Then you see here, this is the utils tab. You get install drivers, firmware update instructions, update firmware, test report, and all these things. And many of the things are, I have made few videos. So at the end of the presentation, you all can maybe have the screenshot of those links. So you can get a feeling of how to update the firmware. It's little advanced, so I have not taken up that here in this presentation. So what does the menu tell you? So menu commands are basically in the programs section, you have the refresh button. What does refresh button do? Is the menu option, I should say. It updates the loaded databases. So this is sometimes needed when we save a custom program. Okay, I'll tell you how to save the custom program shortly. In the utils menu, there are different options. The first one is install drivers. This is needed when you are just installing for the first time. So you have to install the device driver, the MicroGen drivers. So the software takes care of that. You have to click this button and then it installs your USB driver to the operating system. The next one in utils tab is firmware update instructions. Now this is very important. If you want to update your firmware, it will give you all the instructions. So you never have to worry about how to install. And at the end of the presentation, I will also send you the link. You can write it down somewhere or you can take the screenshot. So you can go and have a look at the video also, how to update the firmware of the device if needed. Then you have utils, and then inside that update firmware, which performs a firmware update. For that, you will have to read instructions again. Finally, a very handy button is called the test report. This is for some of the curious people who doubt if the MicroGen is working or not. So I'll discuss this briefly very soon. What does the test report mean? Basically, it is to check if MicroGen is working or not. So few people in the past had doubts that MicroGen is working or not. So if you think MicroGen is not giving any output, then you can ask the software to command your device to provide a test report for the same. What does this report do is, it causes MicroGen to produce a low frequency at maximum power. This signal could be painful, so you will have no doubt that MicroGen is working or not. I would not like to have that painful signal. Would you? So basically what does it do is, if you click this button, it is going to generate this test report for you. It is very easily visible. You can straight away see that these green tick marks tell us that the HeaWea is working. Okay. So if these green test marks are okay for you, then this is good. You are happy MicroGen is working. That is the job of this test report button. So I hope I'm clear with that. Next is few other information about the modes is there is a button in the software. It is like this, it is a continuous loop mode. So some of us like to run maybe 3 or 4 frequencies for a longer duration. Okay, so instead of changing the time maybe per frequency, what we do is we click this button. This is the continuous loop mode. So what HeaWea does is it automatically keeps looping the programs. Mind my words, I'm saying programs. So it is looping the entire program. So one frequency runs for 3 minutes, second frequency runs for 3 minutes, third frequency runs for 3 minutes, and say you have only these 3 frequencies. Then after 9 minutes, the HeaWea is going to come back to the first frequency. Okay, that is what is continuous loop mode. So it is very easily visible from the arrow mark here. It goes to the last program and then it goes to the first program. Okay, first frequency, not program. Then the next mode is the single run mode. So this is the symbol. If you click the button, you will get this. That means after the last frequency, the HeaWea is going to turn off automatically. So this is a single run mode. Now, how do we search for a program? So it is very easy. You have a lens icon here. I go to this, I type for any words here, say influenza. And once you search, click the search button, you get the encyclopedia for that particular disease. So it is going to show you all the notes it has, and you can read up about that particular issue, and then you can make your choice. How do you select multiple programs? As I mentioned earlier also, you can select multiple programs, say all these highlighted in blue. You can select with the shift. You can go to the first program here, acidity, and then you can go to the last one, and with the shift key pressed, you can select all these in one go, or you can press the control button and you can select multiple frequencies and press this play button. All the frequencies will be loaded here. Okay. And once all the frequencies are loaded, you can select low power or high power cable, high power mode. Please remember that frequencies up to 1000 can be loaded. Please remember, frequencies up to 1000 can be loaded, or I should say 1000 frequencies can be loaded. So how do you count 1000? By now you have understood that you are champs. So these numbers you can add up. So in the current window, there are 5 frequencies which have been loaded. So it is pretty much fine. So you can add up to 1000 frequencies from various programs. Okay. If you wish to deselect any program, you can simply double click the program you wish to remove. Or if you wish to remove all the programs, you can press the trash can button here. That is simple. Okay, it's a delete button. There is a play button. There is a save button. Thanks to John White. It's so simple. Now, if you want to create a custom program for yourself, many of us want custom programs ultimately, you know. So maybe I'm handling 2-3 issues in one go. Maybe I'm handling headache. Maybe I'm handling cold. Maybe I'm handling cough. So I'm going to add multiple programs. So how do we do that? It's easy here. You can select multiple programs, as I told you previously also. You can select multiple programs, select the play button, and then select this floppy icon, save button. Once you press this button, you are going to get this window next, where you have to enter the customized name of the program. So as I told you earlier, John has saved a program called John Cold Programs. So you can add your name and you can add a handle to that, you know, anything, cold, cough, anything you want to enter. So you can do that. And here you can see it shows you all the frequency values. It shows you all the frequency values you have added here. All are separated by commas. And it shows you the description of the program you have added. So currently we have added fold cold programs, cold 1 to cold 6. Okay. The same procedure you can use if you are playing around with some manifestation type of work. You want to save, say, the Schumann resonance 7.83. So you can simply go to this frequencies tab here and select all, backspace or delete, and you can enter the frequency values here, and you can add program description on your own. So you can make your own custom program too. Once you save this, once you click here, you will get this window where you can press the save button, yes button, and the program will be saved. Once you have saved the program, the database will load automatically. If it doesn't load automatically, you can go to the programs tab and then click the refresh button. It will refresh the database. It won't be needed, I think. Okay. And then here you find your custom program added. Once you have added the custom program, you can also delete it. Please remember, you can delete only the custom programs, not the factory available programs, not what the company has given you. So you can straight away go to the John Cold program and press delete button. It will delete your particular customized program. So it is that easy. Okay. This is maybe a bit medium level slide. So I'll just tell you, if you want to create your custom program, as I mentioned to you, you can add your frequencies. What you can do is you can manually make your custom programs. Okay, you can make your own programs and you can enter here. So the frequency field accepts some special characters. What is the frequency field? Let me go to the previous slide. This is the frequency field I'm talking about here. Okay, this is the frequency field. So what you can do is, if you add custom alphabets prior to the frequency values, prior to some digits, then you are going to have special features in your HeaWea. What do I mean by that? So if I want to have the effect of red light I want the wavelength of the red light. I want the healing from the red light. So what I do is I enter the wavelength of this red light, say 697 nanometers. So the wavelength has to be entered in nanometers. How do I do that? I type capital L followed by 697. So that, and I save the program. So what I'm going to get is the frequency corresponding to the red light wavelength. So that is what I'm going to get. Second is, if I want to add molecular weight frequency. So how do I do that? If I know the monoisotopic molecular weight, which is in gram per mole, I know the molecular weight of any substance, and I want that frequency into my body, then what I'm going to do is I have to save capital M followed by X, which is the value of the monoisotopic molecular weight in gram per mole. So say here you have this. Say the molecular weight is 47219. Just see here, bottom of the slide. So this frequency is corresponding to the molecular weight 47219. So the software automatically converts this molecular weight into the frequency. Similarly, you can generate the frequency if you know the number of base pairs within a genome. So if you know the number of base pairs within a genome, you can convert it to frequency by just adding alphabet B to the number of base pairs. Okay. If you have the circular base pairs number known, if you know the number of circular base pairs, then you can use BC alphabet. BC followed by 31200. So 31200 are the number of circular base pairs in the genome. So you can save this frequency. If you have the linear base pairs known, then you have to add BL alphabet. In the example here, you have 29954 number of base pairs, linear base pairs, and that is how you convert it to the frequency. This is just medium level. If you want to use it, it is at your disposal. So let me, okay, as I told you how to delete the program, it is very simple. You have to go to the program which one you have saved. In the previous example, we have seen John cold programs. So you have to go to that program, select it, and then press delete button. It is that simple. Okay. Or you can right click and select delete. However, you will not be able to delete any programs which are provided by the company. So you have to just press yes, and that is all. So this was all I wanted to share with you all, so that it gives you some good information about the device and help you make your choice. Okay. So if you have to ask for help from the HeaWea team, you can reach them at email support@heawea.com. And these are few useful videos what I have made on my YouTube channel. So these videos will help you in understanding the technical steps, procedures of HeaWea, and especially the first video, saving and running programs in HeaWea from Spooky software. This is quite handy. because now John White has also provided the functionality, the added functionality of running HeaWea directly from the Spooky software. So if many of you are familiar with the Spooky 2 software, then it will be quite handy for you to have a look at this video, the first one. The second video is just for the curious people who want to see what are the voltages in different modes of HeaWea. So I have just made a video for all of such people. Then they can see what are the waveforms, what are the voltage levels and all that. This is the technical look for that. The third video tells you about how to upgrade your HeaWea MicroGen firmware. So this is the detailed procedure. Many people found it useful when they were updating their firmware. So you can have a look at this. And okay, the next video is called MicroGen Importer. It is a very handy utility made by our Pranadeva. He has made a utility which you can use to import your biofeedback scan results from the Spooky 2 software into the HeaWea device straight away. So you can import your program straight away here. The final video is the features and details of the HeaWea portable device. So all these videos will be quite handy for you. So, okay, if you want to get hold of me, you want to have more doubts cleared, you can always catch me here. So I am available on Facebook, Insta, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And this is my personal email ID. You can catch hold of me. And I do provide one-on-one training also. If anybody is interested, you can get in touch with me for more details. Okay. Thank you everyone for your time and wonderful patient hearing.